what's up, everybody? Welcome to Catch, Hook, and Shoot from my YouTube show. I guess this would be the first episode of season two. It's also the very first episode of my new podcast on Podbean. For anybody that's new, hasn't seen or heard of the show before, uh, basically, my name's Tom. I live in Chicago. Been a wrestling fan for about 35 years. Uh, Pretty much love anything and everything to do with pro wrestling, the good, the bad, the ugly. I love it all. I love researching it, learning about it. Um, I consider myself an amateur wrestling historian and just a huge fan of the wrestling business in general, and I have been for a really long time. And so basically, I set this show up just to have fun. I love talking about wrestling. I love watching any kind of wrestling I can find, which, of course, the day and age we live in, you can find wrestling pretty much anywhere, whether it's WWE, Impact, Ring of Honor, Indies, international stuff. It's all over the place. Wrestling is bigger today than it has been ever, pretty much. So, yeah, like I said, I just kind of set this show up to have a little bit of fun, talk some wrestling, give reviews, opinions, theories, uh, any news, rumors, that kind of thing. What I don't want this show to be is so-called quote-unquote dirt sheet. Basically, you know, one of those things where people are just pulling rumors out of the air, sometimes even just blatantly making stuff up. Like I said, I do consider myself an amateur historian as far as wrestling goes, but I in no way claim to know everything that there is about wrestling. I don't claim to be an insider or anything like that. I just kind of I know what I like, and that's really about it, I suppose. So anyway, just gonna kind of get right into it here. If you like the show, please tell your friends. I can use all the subscribers and followers I can get. Look for the show on any social media platform you might be on, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Just search Catch Hook Shoot. You should be able to find it. And of course, on every page I have, there are links to every other page. So if you're on YouTube, go into the About section and you'll find links to the podcast, the Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, and that kind of thing. Like I said, I'm also on Snapchat, so hopefully be posting stuff there every now and then. And yeah, just hoping to get as many followers, as many subscribers as I can, and grow the show as much as I possibly can. A little bit about myself. Like I said, my name's Tom. I live in Chicago. I do have a regular 9 to 5, Monday through Friday office job. I would love to be able to do this for a living, but got to start somewhere. So hopefully, one of these days, if I can grow this show big enough, I'll get to where I can, hopefully, who knows, make a living off of it, see where it goes. I figure the sky's the limit on that one. But anyway, just gonna kind of dive in right here this week. Topic I'm covering is wrestling fans, which is what this show is all about. That's what I am. I'm a fan, and like I said, I started this up just to have a little fun. It's 100% me, 100% real, uh, and anything I say here is completely my opinion. Any rumors or anything I cover, I don't profess to have inside knowledge or anything like that. I'll always say that's exactly what it is. It's a rumor. So basically, the way that I see things right now, wrestling fans break down into four distinct categories. First one I'm going to cover here is your standard WWE fans. And these are people who just follow WWE. That's pretty much their only exposure to pro wrestling. They don't follow the indies or Impact, Ring of Honor, any of that other kind of stuff, which is fine. I mean, you like what you like. Can't fault anybody for that. Uh, the ones that I kind of do have an issue with are the WWE fans who think that WWE is the end-all be-all of professional wrestling. Now, WWE is obviously the biggest wrestling or quote-unquote sports entertainment company in the world, but there is a lot more out there, and there are just so many WWE fans who will just crap all over uh, indie promotions or indie wrestlers without really knowing anything about it. And honestly, I look at these people and I just kind of want to laugh because they don't have the first clue what they're talking about. Case in point, of course, the Bullet Club, Cody and the Young Bucks have a huge show coming up here in Chicago, September 1st, called All In. The show sold out a 10,000 seat arena in less than 30 minutes, which is huge. WWE can't even claim that. Um, this is the only show that you've heard of, and I don't know how many years it is not a WWE show that's a sellout. And to put it into perspective, in the heyday of ECW, and ECW was huge back in the '90s, especially during the Monday Night Wars. It was WWE, WCW, and ECW, and the biggest crowd that ECW ever played to was 6,000 people. That is the biggest crowd they ever drew. By the same token, when Impact Wrestling was really big in the early mid 2000s, the biggest crowd they ever drew was 7,200 people. So when you think these three guys, not even with the help of a specific promotion, without any kind of advertising other than social media, promoting this completely on their own with their own money, putting this show together, sold out a 10,000 seat arena in 30 minutes. That's unheard of. So, and you hear, if you guys listen to Busted Open Radio on Sirius XM, you hear, Dave LaGreca and Bully Ray talking a lot about, it's definitely signaling a shift in the wrestling business. And so many WWE fans had so much negative to say about this, like, oh, I can't even think of anything off the top of my head, and I don't want to promote anybody spouting this crap off anyway. But they just had, so much negative stuff to say. Oh, WWE just, sold out 80,000 seats in Jeddah, or, had 100,000 at WrestleMania, or 70,000, whatever it was this year. Yeah, that's fine. That's WWE. You're talking about a multi-billion-dollar worldwide company. If they didn't sell those kind of tickets, they'd be out of business very quickly. So they have to draw crowds that size. And they've got a marketing machine behind them. I mean, how many millions of dollars a year does WWE spend just on marketing? So, to make a comparison is really, frankly, stupid. You can't compare this show or any other indie show for that matter to WWE. It's two completely different things you're talking about. The fact that these three guys, without any kind of real marketing campaign other than social media, their own personal social media accounts, were able to sell out this arena without having a match card in place. There's one match announced. So even still so far, it is Cody versus Nick Aldis for the NWA Championship. There's no match card announced. They've got some of the performers announced, obviously, so the Bucks are going to be there. A majority of the Bullet Club is going to be there. No matches, just basically Cody and the Bucks saying, hey, we're putting on this show with our own money. Please come out and see us. And they sold out 10,000 seats. That's, like I said, it's unheard of. It never happened before. Hopefully it'll happen again. Hopefully, this is the start of a trend, because there are, a lot of fans who are looking for an alternative to the WWE product. And I mean, I'm going to be at the show. I was lucky enough to be able to get online and get tickets that same day. So I'm going to be there. I'm going to be posting stuff on Facebook Live probably, or Snapchat, or both. And I think it's going to be an awesome show. But back to my point, there's that little cross-section of WWE fans who just want to crap all over it for really no reason. Like I said, it's just plain stupid. I think a majority of WWE fans are just kind of, casual fans who enjoy the WWE product, and, they're satisfied to see that, which is great. I mean, can't fault anybody for what they like. You like what you like. More power to you. It's the ones that have to basically talk crap about something they have no knowledge of, just because, oh, I'm a WWE fan, this is the best there is and everything else sucks. Well, you know what? You're a moron, frankly. It's just the way it is. But, so that kind of takes care of your WWE fans. The next group of fans that I'm looking at are what I call just casual wrestling fans. They, obviously they're into WWE, but they'll check out like Impact, Ring of Honor, whatever indies they can, come across maybe on their local TV or what have you. And they just like wrestling. They don't they're not deep into it, but like, hey, wrestling's on, or there's a wrestling show at the local gym this week, let's go check it out. These are people who just like the product, the in-ring product of pro wrestling, which is awesome. I think that's great. The more fans there are willing to check out different versions of the product, the better it is for the wrestling business all around. And I think anybody in the business would probably agree with that. So this, I think, is probably in my opinion, probably the best group of fans because they're just open to it. You know, they don't dive deep into it. They don't, have to learn everything about every single wrestler or what the inner workings are, or all the backstage stuff. They just like watching wrestling, and that's how I started. That's how I grew up with wrestling. First wrestling product that I saw was World Class Championship Wrestling with the Von Erichs. Used to come on Saturday mornings here in Chicago, and that was the first time I came across it, even before I came across WWE or WWF at that time. So, that's like I said, that's how I started out, and I just kind of dove headfirst into it and wanted to find out everything I possibly could. I even kicked around the idea of trying to be a wrestler myself for a while until I found out I'm not an athlete. But well, that's another story for another show. But so yeah, like I said, this to me is probably the best group of wrestling fans because they don't judge, they don't say, oh, this one sucks, this one's the best. They just like everything. Like I said, they like the in-ring product. Bottom line. Now, this next group of fans here is what I consider myself. I think the category that I fall into, and this is actually a phrase that I took from Bully Ray from Busted Open Radio, which is educated wrestling fans. Somebody who, like me, loves pro wrestling, will take the time to learn about wrestlers, learn about the companies, the background, the history, um, you know, how the product is made, and we'll take the time to learn and not just sit here and pass judgment on be it the performers or the booking or the writing or whatever else you want to pass judgment on. These are people who just love the wrestling business, want to find out as much as they can about it, about their favorite wrestlers, about their favorite wrestling promotions, who want to go to the shows and have a good time with their fellow wrestling fans. And like I said, this is a category that I think I fall into because, like I said, I do consider myself an amateur wrestling historian, and I just love everything about the business. I love learning about it. I love learning about the wrestlers, the history, the feuds. I like learning and reading about the backstage stuff. I think it's interesting. But again, I don't claim to know everything. That's the key point when it comes to educated wrestling fans. They don't claim inside knowledge. They don't think they know better than the bookers or promoters or anything else. They love the business and want to learn as much as they can about it. And that's me. And that's the whole reason I started this show. So the final group that I'm going to cover here, and this is probably, I mean, from everything that I've heard and seen and read, this is the group that is probably the most hated among those in the wrestling business, and that is the so-called smart marks or smarks. These are the ones that think they know everything there is to know. They somehow think they're insiders, or they have inside knowledge, or um, they want to they think they should be the ones promoting the show. They're like, oh, these are the ones that complain about, oh, so and so's getting a push, so and so's getting buried. These are the ones that started the whole thing with booing Roman Reigns, and that's again a whole nother show. But these are the ones that decided one day, oh well, apparently the company's behind Roman, so let's boo him out of the building. Why? Really, why? I mean, Roman Reigns is a hell of an athlete. He's built like a tank. He works his ass off in the ring. You know, by all accounts, his work ethic is impeccable. This is a guy who busts his ass day in and day out for the business and for the company he works for, and he gets zero respect for it from this particular group of people. I mean, me personally, I like Roman Reigns. I'm not gonna say he's my favorite wrestler in the world. Obviously, I think you guys can figure out who that is. But I have no issue with Roman. I have no issue with Roman being the top guy. I have no issue with Roman being the champion. That it's not my call to make who the champion should be. And I mean, granted, the whole Roman and Brock thing, it's gotten a little tired. I think Roman should have won the title at WrestleMania, and that should have been that. But again, that's my opinion. I'm not going to crap all over Vince McMahon or the writing staff, because they didn't pull the trigger on that particular title change. I'm sure they have their reasons. By all accounts, Vince McMahon has his hand in everything, and pretty sure he knows what he's doing. The man has grown the WWE from a small regional promotion with 14 employees to a worldwide multi-billion-dollar company whose stock prices are the highest they've ever been. So I kind of think Vince knows what he's doing, or at the very least, he's got a plan. So I'm not going to complain about Roman Reigns being pushed. I think he's earned it. He's improved vastly, both in the ring and on the microphone. Of course, I know what I like. I have opinions, and there certain things I would like to see happen with Roman Reigns. Yeah, if it hasn't happened yet, I'm not gonna say, oh, I hate WWE or anything like that. I think Roman Reigns would be served very well by kind of just a couple of little tweaks with his personality, like because I think part of the issue with people hating on Roman so much is he's still kind of holding on to the last vestige of the Shield. Like he still wears the flak jacket, he still uses the Shield music, things like that. I mean, those are like aesthetic things that I think could be tweaked with him. Change his ring gear up a little bit. I mean, the guy is, like I said, he's built like a tank. Take the flak jacket off of him. I don't understand. That's what I don't get. Change up the music. I mean, the Shield music is cool. I have no problem with it. I actually like it, but it's not. Roman Reigns is not the Shield. The Shield is Roman, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose. When they come out as a team, yeah, absolutely, use the Shield music, wear the flak jackets, and everything else. But when Rollins and Ambrose split from the Shield, they both changed up their ring gear. They both got new entrance music. Roman kind of stayed the same. The flak jacket now has his logo on it. That's really the only difference. So I would like to see that changed up a little bit. And the only other thing that I can say would be, again, his personality. I would just like to see him a little bit more aggressive. Because, and I'm honestly kind of surprised I haven't heard this mentioned elsewhere when they're talking about him on the radio or on podcasts or anything like that. Is the biggest pop I can remember Roman getting is when he was in a program with Triple H. I believe it was WrestleMania 32, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, and he came out on Raw and just beat the crap out of Triple H. I mean, just went nuts on him, beat him all over the ring, all over, outside the ring, and just was a beast and just beat Triple H down. And the fans went nuts for it, for Roman showing that kind of aggression and rage. And, so I think, given his look, his size, I think that would serve him very well. But again, that's my opinion. I'm not going to throw a fit if it doesn't go that direction. And that's what these smart marks do is, they think they have the best ideas. They know how everybody should be used. They are, these are the ones that will, go to a WWE show just to bring the attention to themselves. These are the ones who want to chant CM Punk all the time. And hey, I love CM Punk. I'm a Chicago guy. I love CM Punk. You can see in the opening video of the show, I've got a picture of me and CM Punk from C2E2 this year. I believe Punk was exactly what he said he was at the time he was in WWE. He was the best in the world. Would love to see him come back to wrestling one day, whether it's WWE, Ring of Honor, New Japan. I don't care. I just love to see him in a wrestling ring again. But the CM Punk chants in the arenas it's just stupid fans trying to make the show about them, trying to take away from what's going on in the ring. And I mean, it's ignorant, it's stupid, and it just senseless because you know what? You're not doing anything. You're not hurting WWE by going in there and acting like an idiot, bouncing beach balls around and chanting CM Punk or chanting Michael Cole or JBL or beat the traffic or whatever else they're going to be chanting. And of course, they all want to give the standard answer. I paid my money, freedom of speech. I can do what I want. Yeah, well, you know what? That's all fine and good. Nobody's saying you don't have freedom of speech. But then don't pitch a fit when you're kicking a beach ball around the arena and you get thrown out. Because yeah, you may have freedom of speech, but you also have to deal with the repercussions of that, and sometimes that entails getting ejected from the arena. And you know what? You deserve it. You, you get what you deserve. And the biggest issue I have with this particular group of fans is okay, you hate WWE so much, yet you're watching the shows, you're buying tickets to the events, you're paying for the network. If you hate WWE so much, quit lining their pockets. That's how you really show your disdain for something. Uh, don't don't buy their product. Don't use their product. Don't go to the shows. Don't watch Raw. Don't watch SmackDown. Cancel your subscription to the network. And then, hey, your hatred is communicated. And if enough of them do it, hey, ratings will start going down, subscriptions will start going down. Maybe WWE will actually change something. But if the only thing you're going to do is go into an arena and try to make yourself the center of attention, I, I'm sorry, you're just an idiot. That's the only word I can come up with for you. So, honestly, I have no sympathy for any of these people. They want to bitch and moan when they do get kicked out of an arena. Hey, you know what? I said it. I said it a little while ago. You get what you deserve. So that pretty much covers in my opinion, the four types of wrestling fans there are. Maybe you guys think there's more little subgroups out there, but I think that's probably a good overall idea. Then, of course, outside of that, you've got people who just pretty much don't care about wrestling, don't pay any attention to it, which is fine. If it's not your thing, it's not your thing. And then you have people who are not wrestling fans who just want to hate on the product. These are the ones that, oh, it's fake and this and that. And these are the people who I just kind of, give them the old Stone Cold salute, because you have, again, no clue what you're talking about. Get in the ring, do what these guys do. I would put a professional wrestler up against any other professional athlete in the world any day of the week, because these guys work 200 to 300 days a year, and with no off season. They work hurt, they work tired. These guys are on the road, driving from town to town, away from their families, away from their homes. I mean, it takes a very, very special breed of person to be a pro wrestler in WWE or not. Granted, I'm sure WWE has some, I'm sure there are perks to being a WWE wrestler or WWE superstar, excuse me. But, it's still a huge grind, and it's not, like I said, I defy anybody to do what these men and women do inside the ring or outside the ring. You know, inside the ring, I'm sorry, the stuff that they do would kill most of us. And outside the ring, we'd be burnt out in less than a week. So, anybody who wants to hate on pro wrestling, I'm sorry, you don't have the first clue what you're talking about. You just sound completely ignorant. So, I think I've pretty much covered uh, all the different types of fans and non fans for that matter. I'm going to get a little bit more into the Roman Reigns thing, because he's pretty much, I don't want to say the most hated guy right now, because I really don't think everybody hates Roman Reigns. Like I said, I wouldn't call myself a Roman Reigns fan, but I like him. I understand why WWE has positioned him as their number one guy, and I have no problem with it. He has mass appeal, and that's what WWE is all about. WWE, as much as it pains a lot of people to hear this, myself included, WWE is not just a wrestling company. WWE is an entertainment company, and they are a mass media machine. So with the sponsors that they have and the board of directors and all the people that they have to answer to, they have to appeal to as many people as possible. They have to appeal to the wrestling fans, but then they also have to appeal to those casual fans. They have to appeal to kids and parents and everything else. And Roman does all that. He's got a great look. He's a family guy. He's got that wholesome quality, because he is a father and everything like that. And he's got a huge family history in the wrestling business. So I get why Roman is in that top spot in the company. And I'm sure he will eventually be the one to take the Universal title off of Brock Lesnar. Little side note too. I mean, a lot of people complain about Brock being the Universal Champion and only being a part timer. I have an issue with that, and I don't. I mean, I think they put that particular title on Brock to kind of bring some legitimacy to it. Because if you remember when the Universal title was first introduced, people hated it. They hated the belt. They just hated the idea of it. They hated the belt. They hated the name. They hated everything about it. I think it's the first time in my life I have ever heard a belt get booed. so, so I think the reason they put it on Brock is just to kind of, like I said, give some credibility to it. Because of course, Brock Lesnar is a legitimate badass. You're talking about former UFC champion and NCAA champion. Um, this is the guy that unfortunately ended the Undertaker streak, which I still think was a mistake, but I'll let that one go. But and the fact of him holding it for well over a year now, again, I think it adds legitimacy to it. I think that they're trying to make it a little more special because it's not defended every week or even every month. They're trying to put it on the level of like a UFC title or a boxing title where you may only see 2 or 3 defenses a year. So when you do have a UFC title match, it's special. When the champion makes an appearance, it's special. So I think that's why it's been on Brock for so long and why they put it on him in the first place. A lot of people are saying they want Brock to hold it long enough to beat CM Punk's record of I think it was 437 days or something like that. I don't know if I really buy into that one because I mean it's a different title. The title that Punk held was the WWE Championship. The Universal title didn't even exist back then. So I really don't think that was part of the thought that went into it. I think it was just trying to elevate that title to the status they wanted it to be, which is obviously the top title in WWE. But getting back to Roman, I do think he's going to be the one to eventually take it off of Brock. If he's not, I will be surprised. A lot of people are saying they want to see Braun Strowman be the one to take it from him. I mean, I could definitely see it happening. I just don't know if they're going to pull the trigger on Strowman that quick, because Strowman's kind of evolving more organically, I guess you could say, than Roman. Roman just kind of got pushed to the moon when the Shield split, and with Braun, it seems they're kind of trying to take their time and build him up. I mean, the fans are already 100% behind him, but they're trying to build him slowly, more organically. Bring out different sides to his personality and things like that. Which is I think good most of the time. Let things happen naturally rather than trying to force it. So I guess we'll just have to see what happens with that one. And of course, the other big news that's been out there about WWE is SmackDown going to Fox starting in October of 2019. This is huge. I mean, and this was another point that people brought up about All In selling out. Like, oh, great, they sold out 10,000 seats in a Chicago suburb, and WWE just signed $1 billion TV deal. What does one have to do with the other? But anyway, no. So we're gonna be seeing professional wrestling on primetime weeknight TV. This is something that really hasn't happened since like the 1950s, 1960s, when wrestling, in the beginning stages of television, when there wasn't a whole lot of programming out there, and there was maybe 3 channels. So they TV people put wrestling on because it was it was a ready-made product. It was already very popular, and all they had to do was put a camera in the arena. So it was fairly inexpensive, and it was original live programming. This is honestly something huge. I mean, obviously it's great for WWE. I think it's going to be great for wrestling in general. They're going to reach so many more people than they had been previously. I mean, the USA Network is on every cable system in the country, and but you figure Fox is in literally every home in the country. Don't have to have cable. It's just regular broadcast television. I mean, here in Chicago, it's channel 32. I, it's insane that it has that the WWE has gotten to this level, and that's what pushed their stock price up so high this last week or so. And I mean, kudos to Vince McMahon and the whole WWE. I mean, it's like I said, it's something that hasn't happened in a very long time. So, and I'm thinking, the I don't know if they're going to continue with the brand extension after that. They may. I'm sure there'll be another superstar shakeup before then. So you may see a lot more of their top tier stars moving over to SmackDown. I think you're probably going to see Brock Lesnar and Ronda Rousey and John Cena on their bigger names on SmackDown instead of Raw if they keep the brand extension going. Uh, or you may see, and this is something again that got suggested on Busted Open Radio, uh, you may see more free agents, which is what John Cena is, being able to jump back and forth between both shows. You may see Ronda Rousey get that kind of deal, or Roman Reigns, the top tier, most popular people being able to go back and forth between the shows, or you may see the brand extension go away altogether. You may see the titles get unified again, because everything in wrestling is cyclical. I mean, I don't expect the brand extension and as many titles as they have to last forever. Definitely not. You'll see people on both shows again. You'll see the Universal and WWE titles get unified, and the tag titles get unified, and the women's title get unified, and things like that. But it may happen before SmackDown goes to Fox. It may not. They may keep the brand extension in place and just kind of shake things up and move some of their bigger stars over to SmackDown. And you may see. I don't even think it's a matter of may. I'm pretty sure you will see SmackDown become the top show, the A show, so to speak. Because SmackDown's always kind of been viewed as the B show, and I don't know why. I mean, there was a time there when SmackDown was pretty thin as far as roster and storylines and things like that. But here lately, with the roster that they've got and some of the matches they've been putting on, I think SmackDown is right up there. A lot of times, I actually enjoy SmackDown more than Raw. Sometimes Raw feels a little bit tedious because it is a longer show. I'd love to see Raw go back to 2 hours. I really would, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Especially with USA tripling what they were paying for Raw to keep it on USA. Pretty sure they're going to want to keep it at 3 hours and get the most out of their investment. But yeah, again, back to Roman Reigns. I'm fairly certain we will see him as Universal Champion sooner rather than later. I cannot see Brock Lesnar holding that title all the way till next WrestleMania. I figure SummerSlam maybe, may see him drop the title. I'm thinking it's going to be Roman. It could be Braun Strowman. I don't know. Like I said, I don't profess to have inside knowledge. This is just me spitballing based on what I've seen and certain things that I've read. So I think that's pretty much it for this week. I'm going to cut it off here, and I really hope you guys enjoy the show. I've got a lot more stuff coming up in the coming weeks that I want to cover. It's not just going to be me sitting here reviewing Raw or SmackDown. Obviously, I'm going to go over, the important stuff, any big things that go on, as well as pay-per-views and things like that. But I'm going to try to cover, different stuff, different ideas, and just have fun with it. So hopefully you guys have fun listening and watching. And like I said, tell your friends about it. Check me out on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube. Podbean is where the podcast is going to be. Go on any one of those, search Catch Hook Shoot, and you'll find it. Of course, email address for the show is catchhookshoot@gmail.com. I welcome any comments, any questions, any criticism. You like what I have to say? You don't like it? Love the show, hate the show? Hey, bring it on. And anything you guys want to, any ideas, things you'd like to see me talk about, hear me talk about, feel free to drop me a line, drop me a comment. Like I said, tell your friends, share the pages. I love to have as many followers as I possibly can. And to everybody who has checked out the show this week, thank you very much. I will definitely have another one posted by next Sunday. I'm going to try to drop a new show every Sunday. Some will be longer than others. Like this week is going to be probably about 40 minutes. May go longer, may go shorter. Who knows? I'm just kind of, like I said, I'm just having fun. I'm not working with a script. So, however long it goes, that's how long it goes. And yeah, so I'm going to sign off. Hope everybody has a good week, and I will see you guys soon.